Hello, my fellow Americans and the good people in New Mexico. Thanks for tuning in to an Earful of BJ. Faj, you are really sick, and that cough is really annoying.
Well, I can't help it, man. No guarantee. No guarantees here.
Oh, Lord help me. So this is actually the last show of 2015. Can you believe that?
I cannot. It has gone so fast.
Sure has. I tell you what.
Oh, yeah. And the matchups, we are down from 4 to 2 guys.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that first matchup, which was Kyle against myself.
Yeah.
We want to cover that first?
Sure. That was a good matchup. Yeah, Kyle, you had a good year. Too bad you had to fall there, but Jesse made some changes and made some good ones, utilizing the free agency and stuff, and got the win.
Yeah. And the first thing I like to do just is congratulate Kyle. And I know how hard it is to win in this league. So he had a great year. Just to finish in the top 4 is definitely something to hang your hat up on.
Oh, yeah.
So congrats there, Kyle. And I had a good week, especially with the Colts defense getting me 25 points. Mm-hmm. What about the Chris and Ethan matchup? You want to start with that?
Sure. Yeah. Once again, another good game. Both of them had good teams and all. So congrats to both of them. And Ethan, you had a good year and you went far. This was a great shot at getting to the championship. You had to fall. That's too bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah. And Chris, you know what, man? He's just riding that Redskins team, which I don't think anybody wanted to earlier in the year, and now he's on fire. And I think Kirk Cousins has got to be the top scoring quarterback the last 2 weeks or something. But he's been fantastic. And Ethan, what a year. I don't know if I should say this or not, but I feel like it's the first real shot at a championship you've had. And it's a shame you had to fall, but, man, you can still be happy finishing in the top 4. So that was a good year for you.
Oh, yeah.
And Fosh, did you know it's week 17 now, which is the last week of fantasy before it is over? It's
Unbelievable.
crazy.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. I cannot believe it went this fast.
I know. What are your thoughts on the year as the whole as we kind of wrap up here?
All right. My thoughts, speaking for myself, being my first time in the league, I had a blast. And I'm happy that I went this far. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, this year, like we'd mentioned, I think in show 1, was just a little different, having 18 people. It made the free agency really, really thin. But, it was also really fun. More people to talk with and kind of banter back and forth or whatnot. But also this year, I just for some reason just felt like I was just so riddled with injuries. I know my team was slammed pretty hard. But, hey, we battled back. That's all you got to do.
You did. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, then let's move on to that. The championship game, which is Chris and I. You want to start with that?
Sure. Wow. 2 great teams. No wonder they're there. It could go either way. I don't know. I honestly don't know who's going to take this win.
At all.
It could go either way. Both great teams, and good luck to both of you.
Yeah, and Chris has been in the championship 3 times. So
Wow.
that stat in itself is very impressive.
I'd say.
And maybe the 3rd time's a charm. I tell you what, I don't want to play him, and especially if Kirk Cousins throws for 1 million yards and 20 million touchdowns. So I'm kind of nervous there, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to give it my best shot, and we'll see if I can walk away with my 2nd championship.
Yeah, you never know how many touchdowns he could throw. And hey, you got that Hot Johnson there.
That is true. Let's cover the consolation game. This guy gets the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, yeah. The consolation game, Anthony and Cody.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, there again, I think that could go either way. And I wish them both luck at that. And I'm just glad I'm not in that bracket. Well, that's all I've got to say about that.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, Anthony has had 2 phenomenal years in a row. He got a championship ring last year, and this year, man, it just was not the Anthony I expected to see, which is absolutely fine. And I think that he'll come back real strong this next year. And if he wins this championship, or this consolation championship, I think that's the first sign. Look out, guys. And Cody, you know what, had a great season. I feel like injuries took it from him. So we'll see who gets this win. But right now we got a special guest. We got Commissioner McConnell. Hey, Clay, thanks for being on the show, man.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
Oh, not much.
Hey, Clay.
Good to have you here.
Hey, Dave.
So the first question we got here for you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first year you actually made the playoffs in our modern era. Is that correct?
That is absolutely 100% correct.
All right. Clay, I feel like every year you start a little slow, and then about halfway through you make some changes. Either that or your guys start playing really well. I don't know what it is, and then you become really hot. Can you maybe talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I always start off, I'm usually right around 500, and usually, I think every year I missed the playoffs by one game. You know, if I would have won, I'd have been in, but I always tended to lose. One year, Chris actually talked me into flipping a coin on two players of who to start that I couldn't decide, and they were both got me negative, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I would have been in the playoffs.
Wow.
But, I do try to make trades. I try to take my bench players and turn them into, trade a few of them for a starter maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's just a lot of things to it. The waiver, always checking for those running backs.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up, from injuries and stuff like that. That's a big one. But it's getting harder now with the, I don't have the Wi-Fi on my side now that everybody's got a fair shot at weight.
That's true.
Still helps me out.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, Clay, with this being your first playoffs, were you thinking more of getting that first playoff win, or were you focused on getting that championship?
Oh, man, you always want the championship. You always
Absolutely.
think, because you just never know if it's going to happen. With 18 people, it would take 18 years for everyone to get one championship.
Oh, yeah.
And then, people winning multiple. Literally, you could go your whole lifetime and not win one. So
Right.
you want to get them while you can, and I felt like my team was primed to do that this year. But the cards weren't in my favor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, since your team was so good, did you feel you had any weaknesses on your team? If so, what were they?
Oh, man. Weakness, believe it or not, kind of quarterback.
Wow.
I think that was Aaron Rodgers. But he was not been consistent this year. He had a few 40-point games, but he also had like a 10 and just a lot. I always thought his, floor would be about 20.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely not the case this year, which was kind of disappointing at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I understand that here over here with Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Clay, as I mentioned earlier, you are the commish of the league, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that we love you doing this. We love being in the league. It's fantastic one to be a part of. I was going to ask you, is there anything that you would want to see change next year, anything you dislike, or is there anything that you love about the league and you'd like to see more of?
Oh, man. I love the participation, but that's also one thing that maybe there could be more of just on, I understand that's not everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
People have families and stuff, but just whenever I see an inactive player started, it's kind of like, dang it, does anybody really like it? Are they even paying attention to their
Right.
But I know that, obviously, like I said, people have lives and they're busy.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing, one change that I kind of am pro for, at least it's on the survey, if you look at it, but I kind of like the idea for the auction waiver.
Yes.
Where you,
Yes.
you bid, where people don't know how much you bid, and then try to get a player that way. And if you think they're important, you can bid a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you can bid zero, and then if no one else goes for it, you'll get it. I think that would just be fun and add more to that, like hidden gems, like getting players that maybe other people don't find.
Absolutely.
Important, and if you're willing to outbid them a little bit, get them and stuff like that. So I think that would be a lot of fun in that too. But
I agree there.
Again, that's another one of those things where, if it's not your life, it's kind of hard to know how much to bid on someone or what they're worth. So I can see how people won't vote for it.
Yeah. Hey, Clay, last thing just to wrap up here real quick. Who's going to win the championship game? No feelings are going to hurt here.
I got to go for my brother. Kirk Cousins has somehow been hot, despite how, you said, how can a Kirk Cousins-led team win the playoffs? Well,
yeah.
He's got like 40 points like last week.
Yes.
He really does have a strong team.
Yes, he does.
I got to go for him. He's my brother.
All right.
So,
I got
that's
you.
what I think.
Sounds good.
Well, Clay, thanks for being on the show, and
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Clay.
next year, man.
All right, sounds great. See you, Jesse.
Later.
Good luck.
Bye. Thank you. All right, nice having Clay here on the show,
Yes,
the
it was.
commissioner of the league.
The commish.
Yeah. Well, just to close out here, just real quick, you know what? I wish Chris the best of luck in getting his first championship. I know it's hard to lose. So, maybe if the third time he can get it, I also would love to get this second championship. it would mean a lot to me. But it's also nice knowing that I can hang my hat on that I already have one. If for some reason, God forbid, something would happen to the league and we close down, I would still have that championship. But until next time, I think we'll see and we'll talk to the champion.
Yeah.
Have a good week, guys.
Later.